The Reserve Bank of New Zealand hikes rates by 50 points. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because the Kiwis, well, they're braver than us Australians. They haven't paused with their rate hikes, they've lifted it up 50 points, guys. And let me just bring up this article from Reuters. You can see New Zealand Central Bank unexpectedly hikes rates 50 basis points. And Kiwi rallies. Jump over to this screen here. This is from Trading Economics. We can see here the lift up. Let's go to the 10 years. Look at that climb, guys. Oh boy, it's going to be interesting for people who borrowed right near the edge in New Zealand. It's going to be tough. But here's the thing. So previous rates were 4.75 and the consensus and the Trading Economics forecast was just a 25-point hike to 5%. So they've more than doubled what the expectation was. So, I mean, let's raise a stein to our Kiwi brothers. Let's hope they're doing okay over there. Or they might all be moving over here. So, let's have a look. Wellington. New Zealand Central Bank unexpectedly raised its cash rate by 50 basis points to a more than 14-year high of 5.25% on Wednesday, saying inflation was still too high and persistent and kept the door open to further tightening. Now, here's a question for you. Okay, New Zealand, you know what, we might just, let me get this ready on another thing. Observatory of Economic Complexity, New Zealand. Now, New Zealand, it's a lovely country. I haven't had the pleasure of visiting it. I really should, but it's probably a bit cold, to be honest, for me. I've been acclimatized to Queensland weather right now. It's 46th in the world for economic complexity, more complex than Australia. This is why we need them to join the Federation. So their exports are 68.4 billion, their imports are 46.1 billion. Okay, look at those imports. And if we scroll down here to some of the historic data, because I'm too cheap to pay for it, we can see here their biggest export destination is China. And then what is it? Australia, and then the United States. What about their imports? Come on, give me the imports. Or was that further up? Because, there we go, wait. I need to click on here, there. Oh, see, they've changed the whole interface here. So I haven't been visiting it all the time like I have. But we can see their biggest source of imports are from China. Where is it? Are we second? Yeah, we're second. And it looks like America is right up there, and so is Japan. So yes, they're importing. Look at what they're all importing. Cars, broadcasting equipment, refined petroleum, crude petroleum, a lot of manufactured goods with a high level of economic complexity. Part of the reason why New Zealand's economic complexity is so high compared to Australia is because of the cheese they export. You know, they're biggest exporter of concentrated milk, sheep and goat milk, meat, rough wood, and butter. So the milk is more advanced than our natural resources. But I mean, I shouldn't complain. I try and buy the butter from New Zealand at Aldi because it's the best one. So the Reserve Bank of New Zealand is impacting interest rates. How much of an impact do you think this will have on these countries here? It might impact the purchasing power of their dollar, and then that might impact the ability for them to buy these imported goods, but it's not going to impact shipping costs, is it? Maybe it'll stop those pesky New Zealanders going out there and shopping and buying. So I mean, it's only going to impact one side of the inflation equation. It's only going to hit the demand side. It's the only impact it would have on the supply side would be via purchasing power changes due to the exchange rate difference of their currency. But we'll have to see. You know what? Let's bring that up too while we're here. What is the New Zealand dollar trading at? Where do I find that? Come on, Trading Economics. It's really New Zealand USD 63 cents. We're 67 cents. Remember when the New Zealand was like a 20-cent difference between Australia and New Zealand currency? And let's have a look here. We can see as it's loading up. There you go. So it's jumped up a little bit. Let's go 10 years, 25 years. So yeah, you know, 2013 it was up 90 cents. That was right when Australia was really, Aussie dollar was really high, or really the US dollar was going badly. So it's sitting there. So let's jump back and have a look at this article. 22 of 24 economists in a Reuters poll had forecast the Reserve Bank of New Zealand would raise rates by just 25 basis points. This is the 11th straight hike since the central bank started raising rates in October 21. I mean, this is the thing. They're doing a poll. They quantify a qualitative assumption based on a qualitative decision driven on quantitative data. It's all black magic, isn't it? I think The Simpsons got it right. No, South Park got it right with the Margaritaville episode about economics. I swear that has to be 100% accurate. The committee agreed the official cash rate needs to increase, as previously indicated, to return inflation to the 1 to 3% target range over the medium term, the statement said. The surprise decision saw the New Zealand dollar bouncing 1% to touch a 2-month high of 63.83 US cents after the decision, before standing 0.74% firmer at 63.6. 2-year swaps jumped 15 basis points to 5.11, still well below the March peak of 5.53%, while the 90-day bank bill rate implies the official cash rate will peak at 5.5%. Overall, the bank statement maintained a relatively hawkish tone. It noted upside risks to inflation stemming not only from recent extreme weather events, but also from increased government spending, said Capital Economics in a note. It now expects the cash rate to peak at 5.5%. The RBNZ's move was in contrast to Australia's central bank, which kept rates on hold at its review on Tuesday. At the RBNZ's review in February, when it raised rates by 50 basis points, it had signalled a 50 basis point hike for April, but with the outlook turning darker, economists had forecast a smaller increase. The central bank noted that while the level of economic activity over the fourth quarter was lower than anticipated, and there were emerging signs of capacity pressures easing, demand continues to significantly outpace supply capacity. Inflation is still too high and persistent. Unemployment is beyond its maximum sustainable level, it added. Annual inflation ran at 7.2% in the fourth quarter, just below a 3-decade high. It said that severe weather events in January and February had led to higher prices for some goods and services, while it expects economic activity to be supported by rebuilding efforts. So there we have it, everyone. Well, let's have a bit of a talk about this one. So what's your take on this? Is the Reserve Bank of New Zealand going too hard? Are they trying to, they've got one lever that they're using to impact inflation. Is it going to work, considering so much of New Zealand so much of their economy is dependent on imported goods and services that are shipped from, mainly from China, Asia, some from Australia, but a lot from overseas. I feel sorry for people on a variable rate mortgage in New Zealand. It's just going to keep getting tougher. And it's not like their houses are affordable over there. They're right up there with unaffordable housing, like Canada, Australia, and UK. Well, guys, let me know your take on this one. Will they keep hiking? Will they pause? Are you living in New Zealand? And is it time to move to Australia? Let us know. As always, thanks for watching. Check out Heise BIM and Heise Does. And if you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can help out. Financially on YouTube or Patreon, using our referral links, buying our pocket squares, or calling us if you need an architect. Take care, guys. Have a great day. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.